away. It's mostly I just have her close her eyes and do some deep breathing, re-enter the dreamscape, and I give her some suggestions as she's moving through the dream of a way to remember that she's the director of the dream and that she's more powerful than the symbols in the dream and that she can rearrange them in a way that leaves her feeling victorious. So it's real subtle. And there's actually, some people get spooked by hypnosis because of the movies they've seen or the television shows they've seen or some stage shows that they've seen. But in real life, hypnosis is one of the most natural, effortless, pleasing things that leave people feeling like they've just had 8 hours of wonderful sleep and they feel energized and realigned and like a fresh outlook on life. It's really such a simple thing that can have such positive effects so quickly.
Do you agree that it could be said that many of us in our day-to-day lives are in fact in a state of hypnosis and don't even know it a lot of the time?
Oh, great question, Kim. Absolutely. Don Miguel Ruiz, the author of The Four Agreements, talks about how we're always dreaming. We're always in some form of dreaming, even when we really think we're the most awake. So we could say that we're always in some form of hypnosis. For example, I like to look at it like this. We're little babies that are born into this world, and we come from a realm of, we could say, just that non-physical realm of unconditional love and such pure perfection and connectedness. And then we come into this world from that place, and it's such a stark contrast with sharp edges and rules and things. And we're, in order to survive, we are naturally in hypnosis as babies. We're sponges. We take in all the data, all the information, all the suggestions around us, and we become programmed to be domesticated, to take our wild energy, that is our wild rainmaking energy.
There you go.
and we kind of put ourselves in these little boxes to be people pleasing, to get the love, to get the attention, so that we get fed and approved of, and all that. And in the meantime, it's like we're these big jigsaw puzzles that little by little we get rid of all our pieces, and at some point we hit a crisis mode where we've only got a few pieces left, and we have to go about the business of retracing our steps and getting those puzzle pieces back. So to me, when I work with people, I actually call it doing de-hypnosis, because the reason that anybody has any challenges or problems or suffering is because they've been hypnotized to believe that they are less than perfect, that they are less than completely magnificent. And when I do my work with them, it's like I'm reconnecting them back to the beginning, back to the source of who they are, where they remember, and that remember means to put back together who they naturally are, like to wake up out of the trance of feeling less than and remember that they are completely magnificent, heir to all the magic and juice and mojo of this universe, and then some. And that's, to me, being dehypnotized when you wake up to that awareness. That's the goal of my work.
It's almost like a deprogramming.
It's all about deprogramming, because the natural being that we are knows that we're at one with Source, which is whole, perfect, and complete. And when we get hypnotized, we believe we're less than. So it's all about just out with the old and getting reconnected with that solid gold truth at the center of who we are. It's like that. Are you familiar with that story of the Golden Buddha?
Talk about it.
It's a story about when the Chinese were taking over Tibet, and there was one particular ashram, and I don't know the details of it, but there was this gigantic golden Buddha that was absolutely stunning, like probably 20 feet tall, just incredible, and so super valuable. Before the Chinese came in to take over, the monks at this ashram covered the golden Buddha with cement so that it wouldn't look like it was anything that valuable. And so the Chinese left it alone. And years went by, and somebody, I don't know who exactly, but they noticed there was this little glint of light coming out from beneath the concrete of this concrete statue of a Buddha. and excavators came and they removed the excess cement, and they realized that there was this golden Buddha underneath that now lives, and now people can see, because I don't know exactly where this is.
That's
but
okay.
I've seen it and in photographs, and it's kind of like who we are. We come in with all this radiance, but we have to cover ourselves up so that we'll be acceptable. But at some point, we start to give ourselves away. Something really genius comes out of our mouth, or we do something wonderful, or we cause the rain to happen when there was no rain before. It's like, what was that piece of gold? And then we realize that we start to uncover that gold, and then pretty soon we feel comfortable and acclimated to just be the golden beings the golden Buddha beings that we truly are underneath ourselves, underneath all that cover up.
You're a good storyteller. You're very eloquent and easy to listen to. I mean, I'm getting hypnotized just doing this interview.
Wake up, Kim.
I don't think I want to wake up. Okay. What would Carl Jung say about your work today, do you think?
Wow. Now, that's a question I've never been asked.
That would be a good journal dialogue to have. Have you heard of the Ira Progoff method?
No. What's that?
Well, Ira Progoff was also a student of Carl Jung, and he came up with a journal method. Basically, you can have a conversation with Carl Jung.
Yes.
As if he's alive. And you write it down, or your interview with Carl Jung or whatever, and actually the energy of that person,
absolutely,
even though they're, quote, gone,
yeah,
the energy is still around. The consciousness of who he was is still around. And so you access it through having a dialogue with that being. Now, I was a tournament tennis player from 7 to 20. And so when I took the class, I had a dialogue with Killer Instinct to activate and use Killer Instinct as a vehicle for competing and to tap into that. So I had very primal training from Panchasagura.
Wow.
But, oh my God, I wish I could find what came out of that. That was the most otherworldly, fascinating thing. But people can use that as well to tap different things, different thoughts, different beings, names of people, pieces of work. You can have a dialogue with works, even. You can have a dialogue with a project. So it's all alchemical stuff. And by giving it a voice, you're tapping into this other energy that's there as well. Anyway, it's fascinating. Oh,
well, what you're saying is so true, and I'm really glad that you brought this up. And we could go into 5,000 directions right now, because it's mind blowing, and it's true. I always, just to get grounded, I think of one thing that Albert Einstein said about how he used the dreaming mind in order to answer questions that he had, or solve problems, or find solutions. And he would just travel beyond the present moment and discover the solution for whatever he was working on. So the dreaming mind is really this part of us that is universally connected to every thing, not just every being, but everything, like you just said.
Everything that ever was, is, and will be.
Killer instinct, or angelic presence, or an opal, or a crystal, or anything. And that's why in a dream, I do dream theater. Dream theater is an aspect of the workshops that I do, where if people have a dream about anything, we reenact the dream. We bring the doorknob to life. Or somebody once played the role of the messy room, or the closet, or the house that's for sale, or the money, or the flight, or the bird, or the people. You know, of course you can play the role of the people. We don't leave them out of the equation. But you can connect with past, present, future, anyone, anything. It's literally unlimited. So what would Carl Jung say? I need to just journal that. I think that would be an amazing thing. But I think that he would nod his head in approval. I think he would like what I'm doing. I feel like it's really related to his work. I definitely feel a kinship with him. I loved his way of his archetypal psychology, being able to see things as in archetypes, and being able to connect with the energy of these these things and recognizing that every element in a dream is a part of ourselves.